Yo, what's good, YouTube? Today I got you guys with my new top 5 metal loadouts you guys need to be running here on Rebirth Island. If you enjoy the video, give it a like, subscribe, and let's get into it. Our first gun here today is going to be the GPR-91. This is a really solid assault rifle. I quite like it a lot. It's got very low recoil, a great damage profile, just pretty much any and all the above. It's going to be super easy to use. So let's give you guys the optimal build here for it. First thing we have to do is go in here to the optics section. We have a couple options in here that we can realistically choose from. The Kepler Micro Reflex is one that is actually really solid. You can run this pretty much on any gun, and you get this if you use the AS Val, get it to about level 15. So if you don't happen to have the AS Val leveled up, definitely do that if you want access to this. But that's a great attachment, but it's not my preference. I'm actually going down here. This is going to be my preference right now, the Kepler Red Dot. So it is like the Micro Reflex, but an ever so slight, little bit more of a magnification, and it does give you that center red dot right in the middle, so it's really solid. You guys can go for that, or if you want a little bit more magnification, you can go down here for the Willis 3 times. That's basically going to be your selection of optics, which I'd recommend: the Micro Reflex, the red dot right there, and then the Willis 3 times. So this right here is going to be pretty much a good option. Now let's get into the muzzle category. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to not suppress this thing. We're going to throw on the compensator. The reason we're doing this is just because a lot of these BO6 guns have a lot of vertical recoil or just recoil in general. So we're trying to stabilize this out to the best of our ability, and the compensator is going to help us do that. I'd recommend for you guys to go ahead and run that. Barrel section, we're going to go ahead and run the reinforced barrel for our next attachment. This gives you that increase in damage range and bullet velocity. If we open the detailed statistics here, we get a nice little increase here. We can see if we actually run like basically no barrel or just like a headshot multiplier barrel, which is not going to do anything. We actually go down here, increase neck multiplier. We can see that our damage and effective range is only 43.2 meters. But if we go and add the reinforced barrel on there, we can see it moves up to 51.8, which is incredible. That is basically at the very top end of the range you realistically need for an assault rifle, and your damage beyond range. For you guys that are confused, what I'm looking at is right below the person, like the person diagram. You can see the 2 lines of text right there. That's what you should be paying attention to, but we can see that, and that's really good. And then our bullet velocity moves up to 876 meters per second, which is definitely right up where you probably want to be. And I'd like it ideally to be about 900 to 1100, but we can still definitely make this work considering it's so close. And this is an overall great gun. So we got that on there. Next up, underbarrel section, we're going to use the first one right here, which is the vertical foregrip. Helps your horizontal recoil because, you know, we got the compensator on there for our vertical, but this for a horizontal. This should be a very easy gun to use. So I'd recommend for you guys to go ahead and run that. Lastly, in the magazine section, we're going to go down here and throw on the extended mag 2 because I'm a 60-round mag kind of guy. And of course, the 60-round mag is the best option in here. I don't really recommend going for a fast mag that does have 35 rounds, which is cool. But in Warzone, as your primary long-range gun, you want something that's got more ammo in the mag. Maybe if you're playing something like solos, I could see running extended mag 1, but overall, extended mag 2 is what you want to be running. So we're gonna have that on there, and that's gonna be my full GPR build. Next up, we're gonna get into a build here for the Jackal PDW. This is basically the best SMG in the game right now. There's a couple of real ways you can build a couple of attachments you can swap out, so we'll get in here. First thing that you can actually mess with is either running the suppressor or the compensator. So it is up to you on what you want. If you want a little bit more recoil control, go for the vertical recoil control and the compensator. If you don't really care and you want to stay off the radar, go for the suppressor. I've ran it both which ways. I mean, it's kind of nice staying off the radar, being a little bit quieter on the map, but it's also nice having a lot less recoil. So it's kind of something you have to, you know, pick and choose on what you really want. But overall, the more meta version of this is going to be with the compensator. Barrel section, what we're going to do is go throw on the long barrel to increase our overall damage range. Taking a look at those detailed stats, this gives you that nice boost out here to 13.7 meters, which puts you right out there in that range you want to be in. So I'd say this is definitely something you guys should take note of, and you want to be like right about that 14-ish meter mark. So the long barrel definitely helps you get to where you want to go. Underbarrel section, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and throw on the Ranger foregrip. And this helps us out. Unfortunately, with the diamond camo or some of these camos, it's harder to see the pros and cons, but this helps your horizontal recoil control and your sprinting movement speed, which it does come in quite handy, especially when you're trying to get away from people, bob and weave, so on and so forth. It is really nice, and it does, of course, stabilize it out horizontally. You can manage vertical recoil so much better than you can horizontal. It is almost impossible, no matter how good you are, to counteract proper horizontal recoil. Magazine section, we're going to go down here and throw on the Cinemag 2, which gives us 50 rounds in the mag. I actually quite like Extended Mag 2. I don't believe it to be something that slows me down too much. I think this is really solid, so I've been rocking this, though you can go for Extended Mag 1. This only has a 682 round per minute fire rate, so it's not like the absolute fastest. So it's kind of like if you think back to the Uzi from MW3 Warzone or the WSP9, that gun didn't have the fastest fire rate, so you can kind of get away with having a bit of a smaller mag on it. But for me personally, I just go for the Extended Mag 2. It's what works best for me, so I go for that. Lastly, we're gonna go to the rear grip section here, because these are all 5 attachment builds. You don't need 8 attachments because we're trying to fit this actually on one loadout. We're gonna go for the ergonomic grip, which helps with our slide to fire, dive to fire, and our aim down sight speed. Really fantastic things to have. You definitely need that when you're gonna be playing the game. With all the omni movement, you're gonna feel like you're kind of stuck in mud a little bit, or really slow to bring your gun up when you don't have the ergonomic grip on there. So go ahead and throw that on there. If you guys don't want to go for that, take that off, throw on the stock, and go for like the balanced stock. That'll be great as well. But overall, that's a setup, and right there, that is going to be your other setup you can use. Now for our third gun here today, we're going to be getting into the XM4. This is pretty much like the other top assault rifle you can use besides the GPR. It's nice because it's a low level unlock, so plenty of people have access to this. So let's get into here, optic section. This is going to be the same case as the GPR. So we have the Kepler micro reflex, which is really good. Even some like the Merlin reflex is acceptable on this, or the AQ spot reflex. I know this is a bit of a lower level, red dot sight, so I don't want you guys to think you can't run this or you're going to be at a disadvantage running it, but you will definitely be able to use it perfectly fine. If you have the Kepler red dot sight unlocked, that's a really good one as well. And of course, down here we have, of course, the Willis 3x, which is a sight you can run if you really want to. But overall, I'm not really a big fan of the Willis 3x on this gun. I like just going for pretty much like the Kepler micro reflex or something like that, or the Kepler red dot. Muzzle section, this is a gun where you could realistically run either which one, a suppressor or a compensator. Most people are going to find better success with the compensator though, just because the recoil, it's a little bit harder to control if you don't have a good shot with a suppressor on there. That's kind of the price you pay for some of these BO6 guns, but the compensator is there. Barrel section, when you go down here and throw on the reinforced barrel, damage range, bullet velocity, things you really want on your gun. So that brings you out to your effective damage range of 47.2 meters. Of course, it's not going to be the same as you can throw in the long barrel, which only does damage range. Then it brings you out to 55, but we want the bullet velocity to be greater than 750 meters per second. So we take this, you can throw this on here, get a great damage range boost and a 20% increase to our bullet velocity, pushing us out to 900, which is where you want to be. So we have that there. Underbarrel section, 2 options in here. Vertical foregrip is going to be the first one. This helps the most with your horizontal recoil out of any foregrip. So if you feel like you need that, go ahead and go for it. Otherwise, you can go down here and run the Ranger, and that'll be perfectly acceptable. But I think for a lot of people out there, the vertical foregrip is going to work the best. Magazine section, when you go down here, throw on Extended Mag 2, considering this gives you the 60 round mag. I know there is the 100 round mag down here, or 100 round drums, but I don't believe this to be what you guys want to be running. I just say Extended Mag 2 is indeed the way to go. And then that's going to be my full build right there for the XM4. Now for our fourth gun here today, we're going to be jumping into the PP19. This or the PP919, my bad. I call it the PP19 for a while. I think that's label for it somewhere else. I'm not sure which game it is. It may be MW3, MW2. But anyways, first thing in here is going to be the muzzle. We're actually going to go ahead and throw the suppressor on this because this is a very low recoil gun. You don't really need the compensator. It's not something I would suggest. I'd say the suppressor works out great here on this gun. Barrel section, we're just going to go, of course, throw on the long barrel, increase our damage range. This gets you out to 17.1 meters, which really makes this gun very, very effective because, I mean, 17.1 meters is obviously 4 meters farther than the Jackal PDW, even though that's technically speaking the best SMG. This has way better range, so you can definitely pick some people off at a little bit of farther distance here using this. After that, magazine section, we're just going to go down and throw on Fast Mag 1. What this is going to do, increase your reload speed, but it's also still going to give you 50 rounds in a mag. So it is quite nice to have that on there because reload speeds on BO6 weapons can be very, very slow and a little bit cumbersome. Not really sure why they did it that way. I was hoping they'd learn a little bit from, MW3 and stuff being fast and fluid, but it seems like they didn't learn as much as they should have. Rear grip section here, we're going to go down and throw on the ergonomic grip, slide to fire, dive to fire, ADS speed, really good to have. Keeps you just feeling a little bit faster, a little bit more fluid and mobile, so we really like that. And lastly, in the stock section, we're going to go throw on the infiltrator stock, which is going to help you out the most with your aim walking movement speed. It's a little behind my face cam. You get a 16% increase as opposed to going down to the balance stock, which does give you more benefits, more pros, but you only get an 8% increase as opposed to a 16. So having that extra bit of strafe speed does make all the difference in the world. So I'd recommend if you guys go and run this. This is a great setup. And for our final gun here in this top 5, we're going to be giving you guys a build for the LW3A1 Frostline, a really good one-shot headshot sniper rifle out to about 73 meters. So very similar to the Kar 98. There's also a lower level build here that's still technically meta, so you don't have to level it all the way up. I haven't been sniping a ton myself, so this will work out great for a lot of you guys out there that are still leveling stuff up. But the suppressor is our first attachment, just kind of keeping you off the radar. It's actually kind of weird that we're using a suppressor on a sniper rifle. I shouldn't say that because we use it on the Kar 98, but it doesn't feel like you should. It feels like you should have something else a little bit more different that should help you out more, but the suppressor is the way to go. Barrel section, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go throw on the long barrel to increase that our overall damage range. If we bring up those detailed stats, we can see our damage at effective range once again right below the sort of like diagram here. It says 73 meters, which is your one-shot kill potential, and that is going to be, of course, your one-shot headshot, which you can see the damage distribution. It says 300 at the head and then about 165 to 150 everywhere else. So no matter where you hit them, it will be a 2-shot. Minus the head, it'll be a 1-shot. Ups that damage range, which you should be totally fine getting people right there. Outside, we're gonna go down here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the stock pad, and we're just gonna go down and throw on the lightweight pad. This is gonna help with your aiming idle sway. Basically, sniper rifles will, sway around a lot, and this will help you out quite a bit. And so I'd recommend for you guys to go ahead and try this out. It's a great thing, especially when you're lower level and don't have access to every single attachment. It'll help you be more steady in your shots. Next up, we're gonna go into the stock section, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go throw on the heavy stock, which will help with your overall flinch resistance. Everyone knows that when you start getting shot when you're ADSing, you are going to go off target quite a bit. So this is going to help you out a decent bit when you're trying to stay more on target and get more of those shots off. And of course, get that one-shot headshot. The head is not a very, very big target. So this will help you out here quite a bit. And I think you guys will really enjoy that. And for our final attachment, we're going to go to the fire mods. We're going to go in here and throw in the 7.62 NATO over pressured rounds, which increases our bullet velocity a nice 15%, pushing us out to over 1,000 meters per second, which is great. This is definitely the fastest bullet velocity gun we have here in this top 5. Obviously, it's a sniper, so rightfully so, but it is a one-shot weapon, so you want to make sure your bullet velocity is very, very quick. And the base sniper rifle scope on here is incredible, so there was no need to change that at all. So this is going to be that. That's my full build. If you guys enjoyed this top 5, give it a like, subscribe, notifications turned on. Check out this other video on screen, and I'll see you all next time.